My name before Islam was Barnaby Thomas Wills. I was born in Norwich in 1981 in Norfolk, East Anglia of the UK. And my parents were teachers of music, and they were going around to teach many different schools. My brother was called Samuel James Wills. So he's my twin brother, and we're always quite very close and doing lots of things together. I think my brother was more quiet in one sense. Yeah, my brother's more quiet, and I was a bit more very happy and very kind of energetic and quite free, you know. I went to at secondary school. I was just involved in kind of a lot of the sport, and you know, obviously doing as much of the learning as possible. I was quite kind of I was doing quite well. The teachers wanted slightly more from me, but I was getting involved with the football team and the cricket team a lot of the time. I went to college and I did a foundation in art and design, which enabled me to apply for a degree course in Bristol. So I went on to Bristol to study fine art at a degree level. I had quite a good grounding as a child with some of these things in terms of when I was with my grandfather, and he had something very, very special with him, you know, and because he was a priest, but he had something very different to some of the people that I was with at the time, you know, even friends of my family who were possibly Christian as well. He seemed to hold to something, and it kept him away from, you know, protected him from certain bad things that could have happened to him and his family, and you know, but I would have gone to, I was going to church possibly as quite a young child, when I would go and see my grandparents. But I don't think I really went to church in Norwich with my parents, but I went to church with my grandparents. But he had a very good way with the scriptures of the church, and good with the stories and some of the kind of meanings that they hold, so, you know, the biblical stories and these things. I went to the mosque for the first time to a friend's marriage, and I visited the mosque, and this was before I went onto my degree course, before I left Norwich to go to Bristol. I went to the mosque and saw the kind of it was interesting because it wasn't what I thought before what a mosque might be when I visited it. So I came to the mosque and it was kind of like almost like a churchy type schooly kind of house or something. And I came in, there was lots of shoes around the stairs, you know, just scattered around the stairs, and I kind of went in and so took our shoes off, and you know, I was with various friends or something. I came upstairs and we sat there, and I went through the marriage ceremony, and it was very, very simple. It was very, very simple, and I kind of looking at it, this is so different to what we're used to, you know, with the glamour of weddings and the kind of all the ceremony and everything. And one of the senior members of the community read a piece of the Quran, a translation of a piece of the Quran, and he read it while everyone was there, you know, and it was to do with people who, it was to do with you know, people who cover their private parts, people who are believers, people who are sincere, people who, this is, you know, I'm paraphrasing them, and this was these were the verses, these were the verses of Quran that were read out during the ceremony. So this is some of the Quran that you sometimes are read out during the marriages as the union of people. And my brother started to become more interested in it. He went to the barbecue and he was asking if I was going to come to the barbecue and stuff like this. So my brother became slightly more interested in it than me. And then he was involved in the bands in Norwich, and involved in a band called Lark with maybe 3 other friends, and carried the same name as when I was in the band as well, because I was a drummer in the band. And so then he carried it on further, and kind of slightly, and did lots of gigs around Norwich. This is while I was studying in Bristol. He was taking the band thing a bit further and the music, and then he started to community in Norwich. Had a stand, and I was given this leaflet about the gold and silver currency, and I took it, and I kind of probably took it, and I looked a little bit at it, and so this is about 2004 or 5 or something. I took it and I looked at it around, and I looked, oh my goodness, look, it says here, on our paper money, it says, we promise to pay the bearer. So I looked at it and I was, oh, I'm understanding that, yeah. I mean, surely this is there's something really, really interesting about the gold and silver coins, you know. Wow, look, oh, this is people are trying to introduce this, you know, where they can. So I took it away with me, and I took it back to Bristol, and this is while I think I was towards the end of my degree, so I had that as a kind of reference point as well. So that was one of the first things that I'd had from this incredible community with people, you know, who are very like-minded and doing all these interesting things. And so this is what my brother was kind of brought up in this time, where he was searching and seeking and playing lots of music and everything. And then so one day, while I was after my degree, he phoned me up on I think it was a Saturday night or something. I was listening to the jazz, you know, and I got a phone, and my brother phoned me, and I said, hello? Oh, how are you doing? Oh, yeah. Oh. And he said, I'm going to become Muslim tomorrow. I went, oh, you know, I'm going to become Muslim, and then after that I'm going to go and play cricket. So yeah. So then I went to one of my friends. I think I went to my friend. I said, "Oh my goodness, my brother's about to become Muslim." And then the person said, she said to me, "You're still going to be, he's still going to be your brother. He's still, you know, he's not going to disown you. He's still going to be your brother." I think I changed as soon as that happened as well. I think I changed, and so because he was getting very involved in it and very interested in Islam, and so when he kind of declared that to me, something changed within myself as well. When I visited back to Norwich, I think it was probably December time, when people, you know, the Christians have the seasonal gatherings and everything. And I came back, and he made a decision. He said to himself, right, you know, I want my brother to have Islam. I want to show him the best way possible for people. And so he said, right, I'm going to just serve him and do everything I can for him and be the best I can, you know, the best possible I can to him. So I came on the coach and I landed into Norwich. So my brother just grabbed my bags, you know. He just said, no, you don't. You know, don't you take your bag, I'll take your bag. So he's looking very smart. The first thing, oh my goodness, he's wearing his wonderful kind of long coat, and he looks very smart and very presentable. So he came to meet me, and he took the bags for me. And you know, and so this was the first thing obviously I noticed with him, and so he wanted to be the best he can with me. And this is a time when I started to look at his translation of the Quran. This was really kind of speaking to me very well, and it was very simple and very kind of using modern language and everything. But I you know, read the Fatiha, and then I looked at, and I turned the page over to the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, and I read some of this as well, and then I kind of just went, whoa, okay, you know, and I put it down, and I was just very aware of its truth. That is something completely unique. These are words that are completely unique. At the time, I was probably staying up a little bit, drinking coffee with some of my brother's friends and stuff like that, and learning and hearing stories about the Prophet ﷺ, and hearing stories about people who were very, very close to Allah, and hearing stories from some of the noble, you know, very, very well-learned people, and hearing these kind of stories, and how they interact with their surroundings and all this kind of thing. And so this was this is really Islam coming to me And so I wasn't going to, let this one go away. I wasn't going to let this pass, because I wanted to take advantage of this completely, and I just grabbed it, And I was aware that what my brother had done was so kind of brave and very, very trusting, very trusting of people, of these people that he was with. So I tried to kind of get as much of it as I could. I tried to get as much of it as I could. During this time, and so he went to a night of dhikr where people sing qasidas, and which are poems, Arabic poems, and worship Allah in this in a slightly different way to just the daily routine of the worship and the practice. So he spent a night there, and I was on my own. I didn't want to watch the Christmas television and all this kind of stuff. I didn't want to go out or do anything. I just wanted to kind of get as much of this wonderful Islam, this wonderful life, this wonderful deen, as much as I could with me. So I was kind of reading, and I was with this, and I remember holding my brother's tasbih, and I was holding it, and suddenly it just broke. It just broke, boom, I just started crying and just crying and crying, because I knew it was like Allah, Allah broke the tasbih, and I just started crying and crying. And so at that point I kind of had to be built up again. I was just kind of smashed, by this force, over me. So I did actually go back to Bristol after that, and just went through the motions of whatever, and came back again, and just really just kind of, okay, I have to finish with my contract of the house that I was renting, and I had to say goodbye to the work and say goodbye to all of the people that I've known for 4 years, because I got to the point where I was like, okay, I really want to become Muslim, and I really believe that all of these things that have been made aware to me are connected to the Islam, and connected to my own journey to Islam. And so when I came back to Norwich, I came back, and my brother was still living with a friend, with a Muslim friend, and he invited me round to a few of the people, the kind of scholarly people of the community, and it was very wonderful, because I could see that they wanted to just help me, they wanted to guide me, and they wanted to give me something that they were with all these many, 30 however many years. And so this was very important for me, because then what helped me was that I could see that there were people who travelled this incredible path, and they'd travelled on it, and they were willing to bring people onto it, and they were willing to guide people and help people become what they'd become. So this is very good grounding, and very kind of it kind of helps to push away some of the things that you might think that you were, that you had to be in, or and so it really helped to say, well, this is your path, this is who you can take from, this is the learning that you can take from, and so all of this was kind of presented to me before I was Muslim as well. And then so it was, I came to the point where I wanted to take the Shahada. I had a shower and got into some, smart clothes and a nice jumper, and got myself ready, got myself completely ready, really kind of hyped up or whatever about it. And I came on the Sunday, and I announced that to some of the people that I'd been with that I wanted to become Muslim. This is a mosque, my local mosque in Norwich. It happens to be one of the oldest mosques for people who have become Muslim to establish a mosque in anywhere really in Europe. One of the oldest running mosques in that way, where a new community would come and establish a mosque. So it's been here for about 30 years. It has a lot of kind of love for me. I very much love coming to the mosque, and because obviously it's maintained by people that I'm very familiar with and that I'm very comfortable in the company of. And also this is where I became Muslim. I became Muslim with the Imam who does the khutbahs, the Friday sermons, every other week. I'm here on Fridays for the whole of the Muslim community in Norwich. And I became Muslim, and on a Sunday, this was a Sunday in February 2006, about 7 years ago from now, and in this very in this moment that just would change my direction of my life completely for the rest of my life, you know. And it was a very, very special moment for me, obviously, and for all the Muslims who become Muslim and take the Shahada. And so I said the Shahada, and the Imam gave me a name, and he actually gave me the name Abu Bakr. That one moment when you take the Shahada, you say, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And you repeat this 3 times. So I repeated it. I had the hand of the Imam, and I repeated it. And that happens, you see. And so that's the confirmation that there's no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so I repeated this with the hand of the Imam, and from that point I have a contract with my Lord and with my messenger. You know, I have a contract with myself and with the Imam. I have a contract with myself and with the mosque, because I've become Muslim in the mosque. I have a contract with my own hands, you know. I have a contract with my thumb, my finger, you know. It has to do worship. You know, the hand even does the worship. And so these fingers will say to me, or declare the truth of what these fingers and thumbs and hands have done. So we ask Allah to keep us in change, and so change for a Muslim and for a student of a sheikh or a student of the Deen, change is very, very important. So from one year to the next year, you have to be different. So you hope to change in the most extraordinary way that you would never ever imagine yourself to change to, and become someone that you never really imagine yourself to be, because the heart is to turn. You know, the root of the Arabic word of the heart is to turn, and so our body, our body is straight, and our heart turns and always turns. You know, so the Islam that I have been given, it enables my heart to turn to Allah and to be intoxicated and to be purified, and it allows my body to be completely straight and completely upright. You know, in whether it's in society or whether I go off to the mountains or somewhere, but the Islam that I've been given allows me to do that, and it's a worship. There is an ayat of Quran that says, Inna Allahu ala kulli shay'in qadir. And this in English translates to something like, surely Allah has power over everything. And obviously what we see in the world today is lots of people with who amass wealth, and a wealth that gives them something, and no matter however much wealth you have, or however much influence you have in the place you are or the land you're living, Allah is in control of everything and has power over everything. When we reflect on this, it reminds us how small we are as Allah's slaves, and as just human beings, just Allah's creation. And it reminds us how small we are, and how Allah is the great, and how Allah is beyond time and beyond space, and greater than anything in the heavens and the earth. This is His creation. As we can say, Islam is like water. It purifies. Wherever it goes, it purifies. So one of the crucial elements of this is that it has a unique functioning pillar, which is known as zakat. And this is a purification of the wealth. So it can be called a tax. So when the Muslim has earned a certain amount of money, which is called the nisab, the person of authority amongst the community takes a certain amount of the money, takes the zakat from the person and distributes it amongst the people who are poor and various different categories that receive the zakat, including the zakat collectors who are appointed by the emir to take the wealth from the more wealthy people who have stored a certain amount of money for a year. And this wherever it goes, it purifies the wealth of the people, and people use this as people have this as something personal again, like the salat, like the shahada, like the hajj, and like the Ramadan. This is someone's personal worship, but it also has this community element to it. And for me, I was very drawn to it. I researched a little bit about this before I became Muslim, and I was very drawn to this to this nature, and this organism that is part of Islam and part of a revealed way of life, and this became something that I was very interested in, and obviously I could see that it could very easily work wherever it goes. You know, it could work wherever it travels to, wherever it formulates. It can transform society and transform the poorer people's lives, and transform the economic situation and the communities as a whole. And this is one pillar of Islam. Islam is my ship, and it's my trusty ship. You know, it's my trusted ship, and it's you know, it has absolutely everything. It has completely everything. You know, and I don't want it to go. And it's you know, it gives me the prayer, it gives me the hajj, it gives me the zakat, it gives me the fasting of Ramadan, and the shahada. And so these 5 pillars I have with me, and I'm able to worship Allah. I'm able to follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm able to follow him and his incredible example, and his way with the world, and his way with his family, and his way with his companions, and the way that he dealt with certain situations, and the way he had such courage and such trust and reliance with his Lord. And so Islam really is to follow the way of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Islam, in its absolute functioning, when it functions in its entirety, it can cure absolutely every situation, any problem or ill or anything. It can cure when it's absolutely standing upright. So Islam means for me, it means for me a means to my Lord. So if I'm living in my life, I want to live so that I return to Allah with the best outcome. You know, so if I want my book to be given on my right hand, which means that, you know, if I want to go to the garden, to the heaven, then I have to have Islam.